You know, I gotta say, it certainly is a choice to have the third episode of your season be the one that actually hooks in your audience. But yay. Hello, everyone. Terrence here with Hollywood Already Did It. If you haven't already, go ahead, like, share, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, ring that bell below. Anytime we have something, you will be among the first to know. The third episode of season 2 of Hijack is here. It is called Baggage. And as you can probably tell from the first two videos and how I was a little bit tongue in cheek at the beginning of this video, this season has left a little bit to be desired. It has done everything that it's supposed to do as far as giving us another hijack scenario, putting Sam in place. But my biggest sort of complaint with the season is that for there only to be eight episodes, they have not given us the hook as to why Sam is doing the things that he is doing. And in this season, he is the hijacker as opposed to being hijacked on the plane. He's hijacking a train. And so, as a person who watched the first season, my brain this whole time has been like, Sam's character and what he does and who he was at his core, the two things from season 1 to season 2 don't jive. Something needs to be explained to me why he is in this predicament, because I can't buy that he would do the things that he is doing. They finally give us an answer as to why that is the case and why he may be acting a little bit weird, but it doesn't fully explain all the things, and it becomes a little bit muddled as to who's orchestrating and puppeteering this whole thing. As I said in the last two videos, my biggest question was, where's Kai, Sam's son? Because that was the big thing that I was like, I see where Marsha is, I see where Sam is, but maybe somebody has Kai, and that's why he's doing the things that he's doing. Maybe they have him hijacked or held up or holding him hostage. But we find out it's actually far worse than that. A year to the day of this train scenario, Kai was killed in an auto accident. Sam's of the belief that it was no accident and that Kai was murdered on the orders of Bailey Brown because of Sam saving the previous plane from being hijacked. And so this hijacking scenario is either revenge or retribution or to get him to justice, but this is why this is being done. Okay, I can buy that. And now that sort of makes sense to why Marsha is sort of isolated, with it being the 1-year anniversary. She just wants to get away from everyone. She lost her son, she lost her baby, so she's kind of just putting herself in a place in a cabin where she just wants to be alone. And so that's why she wasn't with her husband. That's why she wasn't with Sam. That now makes sense as well. So I'm here with that. What I'm having a hard time understanding and believing and getting to is that even with those things being in place, there has to be a huge logic leap for me to see that Sam, who was dead set on hurting anybody in that first season, make sure that everybody gets off that plane as safely as he could, would put the people of this train in danger for anything that felt like self-gain. And maybe it's the fact that, like, hey, I lost my kid, I can't lose Marsha. There seems to be a little bit of that happening here, but I need more. Something else has to happen. But it's a start. It hooks me in a little bit more to understand sort of how we got to this place. So, as I suggested at the end of the last episode, the thought of like, oh, Sam set up a bomb, we knew that wasn't going to be the case because that's not the person who Sam is. But Sam does have to continue the ruse of that he did set off a bomb. So in addition to cutting off the CCTV cameras, making it seem like he had to set off a bomb, he also had to set a fire off in the station. And so he set off a flame. No one's hurt. No one's fine. Freddie, who was holding the briefcase, fine. Everybody's good. He then gets back on the radio to Clara in control, like, hey, move this train that's in front of us so we can continue through. And then he's also asking for video picture evidence that Bailey Brown is in custody. And then he wants that sent to his phone because what we learned is that he has to send that photo to whoever is puppeteering him. Now, he says, I want this within 30 minutes. And the reason why he's saying he wants that within 30 minutes is because everything he's doing is BS. And it's going to take them about 30 minutes to find out that when they send people down, hey, no actual bomb went off. Call his bluff. We can go ahead and stop this train immediately. And so that's why it's like, you got 30 minutes to make this happen, or otherwise this all goes tits up really fast. Sam starts saying, like, hey, you need to tell the riders back a little bit of what's going on. So Otto gets on the call and tells them, hey, there's a small fire on the tracks. We're going to be diverted a little bit. Nothing to worry yourselves about. Go ahead and move from the first car to the second car because the fire is starting to come into the first car. And they kind of like, okay, all do. They start doing that. Sam's like, good. We're We're heading off in the right direction. That doesn't stop. All passengers are starting to ask some questions. They're also starting to get some internet worldwide. They have internet access still. The Wi-Fi is still working down there, and so they're starting to see that, like, hey, there's a bomb scare on the train. Are we the bomb scare? So a lot of questions are starting to happen in the back hearts as things go along. Thatcher, who was the one that told Winters and them who what Sam's name was, she informs them that Kai was murdered, and that it's been a year to the day that Kai's been murdered. And so Sam has been of the belief that Bailey Brown has something to do with this. So this could all be the purpose of behind all of this. Which then leads Peter, who's one of the people ahead of I think he's ahead of the British intelligence, and there's another intelligence, German, I think, intelligence. They're both present. It leads Peter to believe, like, played by Toby Jones, to believe, like, hold on, if that's the case, and he was on the previous flight to save those people, this doesn't make sense. Like, Sam is not the type of person to kill anybody. Something's not adding up here. And, like, I know you said this bomb went off, and Winters is like, yes, bomb's off. This is the case. Peter's like, something's off here. So Peter starts telling Clara to get under Sam's skin, like, delay him, hold him. We're going to go beyond the 30 minutes. Just call his bluff to see what it is that's kind of happening. And so Clara starts pushing the buttons about Kai and about his son, and starts mentioning family, to the point where then Sam knows that somebody else is present besides Clara as far as the negotiations are going. And that's when Peter Faber gets on the call, starts talking to Sam, and like, hey, Sam, what's going on? And after they're back and forth, he says, like, I want this. Like, okay, cool, I'm working on that. In his just talk with them, Peter goes back to Winters, like, he's too calm to be a man who has just killed someone for the first time, because we know that Sam didn't kill anybody on the plane. He's not a person who kills anybody. That would have been his first murder, and he is far too calm and collected to actually have done this. So I'm calling his bluff. I think everything is BS. I don't think anybody is blown up down there. Winters, with Thatcher's help, discovers that Faber and MI5 have Bailey Brown already in custody. Like, he's in Germany, he's in custody. They're watching him, and that he's under high watch because they want to extradite him, to transfer him to UK to serve his crime and judgment there. So they already have him, and they have him dead to rights, and like, cool. They're just not giving that information to Winters, but eventually they do. They go back and forth, and eventually they do. So they send the photo of Bailey Brown to Sam, and Sam's like, sweet, I got it. Mission's accomplished. I think we're good. Everything's good. He for a moment, he seems like, Otto, Freddie, we're gonna get out of here. He's starting to kind of come to a humanity with Freddie. Starts asking questions about what he wants to do, his job, and all that stuff. It seems like he feels like the light at the end of the tunnel, and now I'll be able to get out of this and just go home. He then gets a message back saying, basically, this isn't enough. I want more. And they have a photo of somebody watching Marsha in her hideout, which is a threat to Marsha. And to which point Sam's like, well, hold on, this changes things. Now we got to continue this up a little bit more. I need Bailey Brown brought to this train. And so that's the new plan of what he wants and what he's asking for. While this is happening, the police get down to the spot where the bomb went off, and they realize that there was no bomb. Nothing went off. But between there and the location that they found offsite, they do get the feeling that the sense that there's a bomb present. That wasn't the one. That wasn't the thing that blew up. But there's a bomb down there. Where, we don't know. But I don't know if we should just go in gung ho. But Winters is like, nah, if you're telling me that's not the bomb didn't go off, he's calling our bluff. He's trying to BS us. F it. We can get more aggressive in the way that we go about this. So she then cuts power to the train and the subway station. Everything just goes dark, which also kills the Wi-Fi, which makes the passengers in the back a lot more skittish and a lot more nervous. Some of them are trying to escape, trying to open up and pry open doors, but those doors, they're not really given. Now, I would imagine if they try to break it, some might get loose, but for the now, they can't get out. So Sam and Otto get off the train for a minute to figure out what their next course of action is, because everything's gone amok. They cut the generator back on for the train to give them at least some surface level lights, but they're still not getting the Wi-Fi back. Then they get off the train to see if there's any other lights that they can kind of get on. While they are there, they notice that there's a bomb that Sam did not plant under the train, which is then like, okay, well, hold on. One, when was this planted? But two, it's clear that Sam is not in on this, but it's also clear that Otto is just as much of a puppet as Sam is. And Otto was not aware of who Sam was. And so it's going to be interesting. It's like, who's making these shots? Who's putting all of these sort of pawns in place to make all of this go the way that it is going? We see that the bomb is placed, and then all of a sudden we hear the intern that was bothering Sam when they first got on the train screaming because she came to the front cart and sees that Freddy is dead. Now there's another person there, person we don't know who the hell they are. One of the many passengers that exist on this train. But Freddy's dead. And he heads back. The intern sees Sam's like, what have you done? Sam tells her to go to the back. But yeah, Freddy's gone. And so now there's somebody on that train that's also there to make sure that Sam and Otto do what it is they're supposed to do. And this is sort of a warning shot to them, like, hey, stop bringing people up in on this. Do what it is you're supposed to be doing and cut it all out. But they have no idea who that is. And with the amount of people that are on the train, it's going to be very difficult to find out who that is. And as a viewer, we don't know anybody on this train outside of George, the kid who's very scared to get on the train in the first place, and some of his classmates, and then the intern, and then the woman, blonde woman who's sort of a fitness person. We got nothing. We don't really know these folks. And so unlike with the plane, where we kind of by this point had a really good idea of most of the people on this plane, we got nothing here because that's not what we're supposed to. What we're doing now is more of the convolution of MI5, Peter, British intelligence, German intelligence, and the embassy all sort of in control of this train, all sort of in this gumbo soup, and who is to be trusted and who is to believe. Is it interesting? Somewhat. A little bit more interesting now that we know that Sam got here because of the Kai scenario. But I need to know who's running this to get him to do this far, and what's sort of the game plan. There's way too many questions still to be answered. And some of that's the par for the course. Some of that is for the mystery. And like, it did enough in this episode to give me the reasons why Sam's character has changed. So I'm willing to keep going on and be like, all right, cool. I'll bite. Let's continue on for the next episode. It's clear that Sam is very shocked to see Freddy dead. Like, this wasn't a part of the game plan. Otto's like, oh crap, what are we supposed to do? And like, I don't know, because he doesn't want people to get harmed. I don't know if this has a bit of an about face on how he's going to go about things, because what ends up happening is the lights are turned back on because the Winters gets word that from Sam, like, hey, I know I may have been bluffing before. Everything seems a little bit weird, but I'm just giving you the heads up. There is another bomb down here. It's on the train right now. And to which Winters turns the power back onto the train and allows it to continue. Freddy is removed from the train. His body is removed from the train and put on the platform with Peter sort of sitting there. And then all the passengers of the train go by the spot where Freddy is killed and see his dead body on the platform. And that's how the episode ends. That's an odd choice for me. And this is why I'm like, I'm not sure who's in control or who's making these calls, because I would think that you would not want the passengers to get riled up, because it's going to make it harder for your train with this bomb to get to wherever it is to be going. I don't think the plan is for the train to get blown up. I think it's more of a scare tactic for Sam and Otto to make sure that they do what they're supposed to be doing. Be damned of what happens, but it's a weird choice to rile up those people in that train, because they're eventually there's enough of them to overtake Sam and Otto. So if you want this train to hit a destination, or you want Sam and Otto to finish off the job, odd choice. I don't know who. I don't have a say of right now who's puppeteering and managing Sam. It's hard to say because there's so many things kind of happening, and I don't know enough of the players that are on the train to make a full guess or full workup of this. To see Marsha be in pain, to see Sam be in pain, helps me understand how we got here. And now I am curious. It's someone in one of these military spots, whether it be British intelligence, German intelligence. I don't think Winters really has anything to do with it, but one of them has put Sam in this place and is sort of watching this all unfold and making these moves without him. The only thing that sort of came up in this episode that I think may come up later down the line is the camera that's in the main cart with Sam. Apparently, the feed only goes directly to the hard drive that's on that front cart. doesn't feed to anywhere else. I think at some point in time, that might be the only way to talk to somebody who is not a part of all of this. And whether that be Clara, whether it be Winters, I feel like the two of them are safe. Anybody else, game's up. And Thatcher. Thatcher is also on a level playing field. I think the three ladies are fine. If the guys in that room, I don't trust any of them. What did you guys think about this episode? Now that you know that Sam and Marsha have this hole in their heart from losing Kai, does that make some of the scenarios of how they're both acting make a little bit more sense? And are you now on board? Because I was about to lose it. I was about to be off, and this helped me understand it. It also put a truer threat on the board for me, because you saying I'm hijacking this train at the end of the first episode is cool. It's a cool like, oh, that's different, but it didn't really bring anything to me because I'm like, Sam's not going to hurt anybody. Same with the end of this last episode because, well, he's not going to kill Freddy. Nothing's going to. He's not going to set off a bomb. This episode, because the fear now is in the hands of somebody unknown and not in Sam, I don't have to worry about or guess his character. The stakes are up now. The stakes are now up, and now I can believe like, oh, there's a threat, and now I'm in. But what did you guys think about this episode? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comments below. If you haven't already, you can email us at HollywoodAlreadyDidIt@gmail.com, or you can follow us on X at HollywoodADI. We also have a podcast by the same name. That's on Google Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere that plays podcasts. We're there. And like always, I got my ticket. You got yours.